We've arrived at the world section of the groove poster. Strap yourself in, this one's going to be a wild ride. And the first one is disco. Yes, that's right, disco. A groove that has its own name. And why did we put it in the groove poster? Because this groove refuses to die. It won't die. People have tried for many years and it won't die. It just keeps resurfacing in different places. It becomes lounge music. It becomes whatever you want it to be. But the simple pea soup, which is this, pea soup, that won't go away. It never will. It's here to stay, and it's time to accept it. 4 on the floor, 2 and 4 on the snare drum, deep, tight, and absolutely consistent. Let's see what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also play this one without playing all the eighth notes. Let the foot close on the downbeats and just play the upbeats. It will look like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Of course, this groove sounds much better if you wear bell bottoms, a nylon shirt, and a lot of gold chains. But hey, that's just me. Let's see what one of these sounds like with some music. Here we go. Groove 28 is the Swiss Army knife of grooves. This little groove, this little nothing of a groove, can go into so many different places because it just has the basic elements of downbeat and upbeat and all 4 quarter notes on the hi-hat. And it can be a polka, it can be a rag, it can be a Broadway thing, it could be a country thing, it could be a heavy metal thing, it could be a ska thing, it could be a speed punk thing, it could be whatever you want it to be, whatever you need it to be, because it's just one of those great grooves. It just works. It's so simple to play. Let's look at it moderately slow. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. That's it in all its glory. A little faster, it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's how you play it and where you use it that will determine what it sounds like. And the next 2 musical examples are a perfect illustration of that. The first one is kind of slow, and it's like a little Broadway 2-beat kind of thing. You know, a little happy, bouncy thing you might play in a musical or something like that. Sounds old, it's from an older school, and it's just really nice to play. Very, very nice. The second one is more like a country thing. It's got some banjo on it and a bunch of guitars, and it's more, you know, in your face, a lot more energetic. You'll see what I mean. And again, use this as a bass and just start to mutate the groove from there and have some fun. See you later. Groove 29, second line groove from New Orleans. New Orleans drumming is great. It's really got its own kind of thing happening, its own signature. It's really cool. I'm really into that kind of music. I listen to a lot of it. You know, it doesn't matter what kind of style you're talking about. Cajun shuffles, Zydeco music, second line, all this stuff, this New Orleans drumming is really fun to play. And it really comes out. It's very joyous. The whole second line thing is kind of interesting because you can tell that it's a very happy thing. But it comes from a funeral procession. They were very understandably somber going to the funeral. Then they were coming back. It was a big party broke out. Big party. And the drummers were in the second line, and that's how the story I heard, that's how it became the second line New Orleans groove. No matter what the story is, the groove is absolutely phenomenal. Let's play it now. And it's got a definite swing thing happening. If you play this straight, you're going to sound silly. Don't do it. Here's what the whole thing sounds like. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, when you play that, if you play it straight, it would sound like. Not exactly what I would call a deep pocket groove, now is it? No. So you swing it, and you line that bass drum up with those accents, and then you get that kind of fat lilt going on. And I like to put my hi-hat on the eighth notes, the upbeat eighth notes. So it'll be 1 and 2 and ready and go and. This one is going to let you go in a lot of different directions. And when you listen to second line drumming, you're going to have an absolutely phenomenal time. You'll see on these two examples where I get pulled in all sorts of different places with the band. And I'm pulling them, they're pulling me. It's just a big old party. Let's give it a shot. Okay, let's take a trip to Jamaica. Let's talk about a reggae groove. Just take a look at one little variation of a groove right now. Remember, there are a lot more. This one is pretty self-explanatory, except I want to make sure that you understand that this can be played straight or with a swing. I prefer the swing, so we're going to play it that way. Here we go. 1, 2, just the hi-hat, and 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now I'm going to keep that going, and I'm going to put the one drop in. The one drop is on 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Now the left hand. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. See how the 1s and 3s are in parentheses on the hi-hat line? Because you can leave those out. You really can. You can leave those out and it'll sound fine. You'll see what I mean when we play this. I have a tendency to leave those out. And you can see how the groove settles into different places at different tempos. The only way to really experience any of this music is to listen to it. So go listen to maybe Bob Marley to start with. And then you can branch out from there. So check out some reggae grooves. Let's see what this sounds like at 2 different tempos. Okay, let's play a great, happy, bouncy groove. This is a calypso groove. This has also become very popular with jazz musicians. You remember how I remember jazz musicians love to take grooves, make them their own, kind of twist them around and really do things with them? Well, calypso is no exception. Let's play this groove. Now you can see I'm going to be playing on a snare drum exclusively on this, moving my right hand and left hand around to these toms, and I'm going to get a lot of muted sounds. You know, the snares are off. I have my hand on the drum, right in the center, which gives me all these different colors. And I'm going to use that to my advantage because I'm going to move all around. And I'm going to use my stick click. It'd be a good time to talk about the technique of a stick shot right now. See that? That's got to sound nice and thick. We don't want this. It's not going to really do anybody any good. You're not going to hear that. And if you have too much wood, it starts to sound like, you know, just dead and lifeless. There's a sweet spot. It's right in there. Hear it? Goes, pops right out. I'm going to get that sound. Okay, now let's see what this thing sounds like. I'll play just the hand part first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, E, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 3, 4, 2, and 3, 4, E, 2, and 3, 4. Now the feet, they just keep driving. The bass drum's going to be on the quarter note, and the hi-hat's going to do an interesting part that we're actually going to use quite a bit in the world section. It's going to be an open-close with a foot splash. So it's going to be closed, open, closed, open, closed, open. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You're going to want to get that technique down because that is really, really cool and very, very useful for a lot of different things. Now let's do this again, and I'll put the feet in. You can see what the whole thing sounds like together. Not too fast. 1, 2, ready, and. And all the notes that are circled in the groove, feel free to play either a stick shot or maybe a muffled sound. You can kind of mix it around a little bit, make it percolate. And that's the thing about a good calypso groove, it percolates, which hopefully you'll notice in this next musical example. Here we go. We've arrived at 32 on the poster, and 32 is a soca. Soul calypso. Soca, soul calypso, short. So you can see, just by looking at the groove on the poster, it's got a lot of stuff going on in there. But I'll tell you, it's not that hard to play, and it's an undeniably joyous, fun groove. You know, out of the Caribbean, just like the calypso. And it just feels great to play. Drummers love this one. I love this one too. It's a lot of fun to play. And the hi-hat is kind of like, dare I say, a glorified disco part, where we had just the pea soup happening on the disco. Now we kind of have, for lack of a better word, pee-pee soup. Pee-pee soup. Because that's what it is. It's 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. Like that. That's all it is. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. That's really all it is, that part. You know, it's not that big a deal. It's kind of easy to play. And when you just want to try to avoid when you close the hat, just like with the disco, you don't want to flam on the way down. Yay, that's a groove killer. So you don't want to. Ugh, that's bad. Okay, so now let's put all the parts in and see what this thing sounds like. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. And the 2 and the and of 4 are usually rim shots, so I'll demonstrate that. 3 and 4 and. You hear that pop? Nothing like that pop. You get that rim shot sound happening. Isn't that a great groove? It just bounces along. It just feels great to play. Now I'm going to show you a musical example using a soca, and then when I'm done, I want you to try it with me. Here you go. time to go to Brazil, an incredible country of amazing music and musicians. The amount of great music coming out of Brazil cannot be overstated. It's absolutely incredible. And we're going to talk about some of the basic beats that Brazil and Brazilian musicians are known for. This has a great long history that deserves your attention and study. So if you get inspired by some of my Brazilian examples, definitely check out some real Brazilian music. You will not be disappointed. It is very uplifting, life-affirming music. You'll just love it. Let's play a bossa nova. This is so beautiful to play. It's just airy and open, and it's just, when you close your eyes and you play it, you just think of the ocean or something like that. I'm serious to do that, by the way. When you play a groove, after you get past the notes and we all play, here are the notes, and Andy, 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 and all that stuff, then you start to make music. You start to become an artist. Visualize things. I think of, when I play a bossa nova, I think of, a sandy beach on a beautiful day, and everything's perfect. That just makes the groove come together for me. Let's play this thing. Now we haven't talked about our connective tissue in a while, but our eighth notes are back over here. Let's take a look at them. We'll play this on the hi-hat first. And I'm going to play the left hand rhythm with it, the signature bossa nova left hand rhythm. Let's see what it sounds like. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Now I'll add the bass drum. 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 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 4, and 1, and 2, and 1. Another great place to play this is the ride cymbal. And we're going to play that way now, and we're going to put 2 and 4 on the hi-hat. So now we'll have a 4-way pattern, and this really kind of opens up a little bit. We use the ride cymbal with its legato, long sound. It really helps make the groove breathe. Let's see what happens. 2, 3, 4, and see how lightly I'm playing? Touch, nice. Touch, touch. Different than the rock stuff we've done when you play on the ride cymbal. Well, we wouldn't play that way for rock either, but we play stronger for rock. We get more of a sound happening. We're using bells, more aggressive. This is a bossa nova. It's nice. We want to make nice. So we just play lightly and we get that touch. And this next musical example is going to show you what I mean exactly. I'm really looking forward to playing this one because it just is so beautiful. And you can use all those different textures of cymbals and sounds. I offer this up to you to play after I'm done. Let's give it a shot. Continuing along our Brazilian path, we have now hit the classic samba. This groove, boy, I'll tell you, it's impossible to overstate what it means to Brazilian musicians. And it's so much fun to play. And it's so open to interpretation. You gotta love this groove. The one I'm gonna show you is the one that was shown to me when I studied with a Brazilian master of drumming. And I'll tell you, when he showed this to me, it opened my eyes. Like a lot of drummers, I used to think a fast bossa nova was a samba, which is so not right. It's a different thing. And we're going to talk about that thing right now. The first thing I want to talk about is the hi-hat. Let's add a little artistry to these connective tissue eighth notes that we keep talking about. We're going to give a lilt. We're going to push 2 and 4. There's an accent written over them, but you know what? It's more of a color change than an accent. And I want you to look at it and see what you think. It'll be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and tip shank, tip shank, tip shank, tip shank. Tip shank, tip shank. Not an accent. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... That's a different color. That's an accent. It's not an accent. Okay, now we have the wonderful samba left-hand rhythm that, by the way, is just to get us started. That can move around a lot. The left hand of Brazilian drumming reminds me a lot of jazz musicians' left hand. Man, that thing can go all over the place and play all sorts of wonderful different things. So don't get locked into this one rhythm, though this one rhythm is what I call a root rhythm. It really works, and lots of different offshoots can come from this rhythm. So let's get this one down. I'm going to play the left-hand rhythm against the hi-hat. 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3. Now the bass drum. And it has the classic samba bass drum. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3. But I'm going to lean on the 2 side a little bit more, which would be B3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. A little bit of a heavier 2 side. In traditional Brazilian drumming, there would be a guy playing a surdo, and his job all night long would be to be on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's his gig all night long. And we're going to try to make our bass drum have that sound. Let's see what it sounds like all together. And when you get this locked in, boy, I'll tell you, there's nothing like it. Remember when we talked about the shuffle? When you play the shuffle, there's nothing like the shuffle. Well, there is nothing like a samba when you really get it cooking. Let's see what happens when we get it happening. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a lot of fun to play. It's absolutely undeniably awesome to play that groove. Now, you're going to see even more of what I mean in the next 2 examples. One's kind of slow, and one is definitely not kind of slow. The one that's kind of not slow, the right hand might prove to be an issue. This is a chops issue or strength issue. And if you can't get those eighth notes out at that tempo, don't freak out, okay? Take it easy, build up your speed and endurance. Keep positive, keep moving forward, and you will get it someday. Just keep practicing, okay? Samba, 2 different tempos. Here we go. Another version of a samba. This is for faster environments. We've also moved the time signature to 4/4 instead of the cut time that we have been in the previous example. A lot of times when sambas get fast, riders will write them in either 4/4 or even more traditionally 2/4. You'll find it just a different way of looking at them on a piece of paper, and I just wanted to show you both ways of being able to see what a samba look like in 4/4 and in cut time. Now at a fast tempo, we're going to be in 4/4. So our connective tissue will be based on 16th notes, and we're going to take out that second one, and we're going to make it an 1/8 and 2/16. So it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. We have upbeat 1/8 notes on the hi-hat and the bass drum playing its bass drum part, the classic samba bass drum part. Let's see what happens when we put the feet in with the ride. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now the left hand part. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 E 3 E 4 and 1 and 2 E 3 E 4 and 1 and 2 E 3 E 4 and 1 and 2 E. Because you can see I'm trying to still push the 2 side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 with a little bit of weight in the bass drum just to give it that authentic on the 2 side, just a little bit, you know. Now this can get pretty fast. Now also you can play this like with a rim shot, kind of like a muted rim shot. A lot of my Brazilian friends play their snare drum with the finger over the top, and they get a nice little rim shot sound. It's really kind of cool how they do that. And you can get it, it'll sound like this at a faster tempo with the snare drum. 1, 2, 3, 4. See how it stays light and buoyant? If you try to play a groove like this heavy, I mean, forget it, you know? It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. You got to stay light and tight and moving it forward. That's the whole key to playing quickly. Don't get heavy. Don't get, Stay relaxed, breathe, and let the music do the speaking for you. Now, we're going to play this one in a pretty up-tempo and see what it sounds like and get this pattern moving. And then watch me play it, then join in, play with me. Keep joining in. Don't just watch. If you're sitting at your TV watching me with your remote sitting there like a lump, don't do that. Get on your drums. Break a sweat. Have some fun. Take some chances. All that good stuff. Let's see what this one sounds like with music. Another kind of samba, a baião samba. This has a different bass drum part and it has a different flavor. Whereas the sambas we've been playing have been ba-a-doom, a 1, a 2, a 1, a 2. This one has that kind of a push. 1, 1, 1, 1, You're kind of pushing it. Actually, that rhythm has been around a very long time. It used to be called Charleston. But now when we put it in this kind of context, it's called a baião samba. Amazing how things never really are new. They keep morphing from the past. Let's see what this sounds like. I'm going to play the bass drum part and the ride cymbal so you have a reference. Ride cymbal is going to do our friend, just like the last one, the 1/8 and 2/16. Let's get that going first. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Now let's put that bass drum in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, 1, a 2, 3, a 4. 1, a 2, 3, a 4. 1, a 2. Now the hi-hat on the upbeats. 1, 2, 1, a 2, and a 3, a 4, and a 1, a 2, 3, 4. Now the left hand is going to be playing kind of like filler ghost notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Well, I'll tell you, that feels great to play. You don't want to stop. I probably played it too long, and I apologize. But boy, I'll tell you, that's a lot of fun. When you get into a groove, boy, that just feels so good. So now you get that happening. You're loose. You're happy. Things are good. The music's moving forward, and it will sound something like this. The next two musical examples that we're going to use at two different tempos, and you can see what I mean. And the second one, I'm sure I'm going to take some liberties with this samba, as I'm supposed to do. Because let's face it, they'd hire a drum machine if they wanted a pattern just played static all night long. Let's take some musical chances and see what happens. Here we go. .37 is the last groove from Brazil. It's called the Batucada, and this is a great groove. This is the groove that everybody hears during Carnival. It's this street samba school thing. It's just unbelievable. It's explosive in its energy, and it leaves a lot of room for improvisation. If you have your rudimental thing together, you can start to explore using different kind of rudiments, rolls and flams and stuff in this kind of a groove, because it's so snare drum based and you can really get some amazing textures happening. Let's see what happens when I just play this thing as it is. And again, I'm going to use my hi-hat doing the closed, open, splash kind of technique. The tight, open, tight, open. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our surdo again, playing the 2 and the 4 over on the tom. You can even use different tones, And I like to reverse the hi-hat sometimes too, and I play, instead of closed, open, I play open, closed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I have the long sound on 2 and 4 on my floor tom, and I can use the short sound to go with that and the long sound against it. Let's see what that sounds like. You can see what I mean. It sounds so much better in music than it does in words. 1, 2, 3, 4. That groove will get you started on your way to playing batucadas. That is just like all the other Brazil grooves. There are lots of different ways to play it and all sorts of great music to listen to and absorb and try to copy. Let's see what this sits like at two different tempos with music. Let's give it a shot. Time to take a trip down to the Dominican Republic and play the groove that the Dominican Republic can call its own, the merengue. And this is a furious, fast dance. And I'll tell you, when I went to the Dominican Republic, watching people do the merengue, that'll get you inspired to learn how to play it. It was pretty amazing. You know, it was incredible to watch the energy. It's like this frenzy. It's just incredible. So I'm going to show you this groove. And again, we're going to use our cross stick, palm on the snare. We're trying to emulate other percussion instruments. We can do that by different textures, by using different pressures on the snare. Turn your snares off, you know. Okay, let's take a look at this groove. I'll just play the hand part, and not too fast, because the example is going to be pretty fast, and this merengues live at a pretty fast tempo. Let's see what this sounds like not too fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now with the feet. Feet help chug this thing along. There's an undeniable forward, let's go get 'em kind of thing about a merengue. So definitely have that kind of spirit when you're playing it. But not too fast right now. But moving forward, we're chugging along. We're chugging. 1, 2, 3, Now, a little bit more up to speed. It's going to be lighter. It's still going to have that undeniable forward motion. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is in all its glory. Now it's up to you to play it. Let's take a musical example and see what it sounds like with real instruments. Let's go. As you've probably noticed at this DVD, I've been using some different Vic Firth implements, and this is the Ruda. And there are a bunch of different weights and models. And these are really cool to use on merengues and other kinds of these grooves too, as you've been watching. Let me show you what this sounds like with this Ruda. This is kind of cool. It gives a different texture to the snare drum. It kind of spreads it out a little bit. It gives a different flavor than a stick. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are very cool, and I recommend you check them out. '39 is the cha-cha. This is a great groove, our first Afro-Cuban groove. These are Cuban rhythms that have origins in Africa. And this is a study within itself. There's an incredible amount of information, an unbelievable amount of history. All these rhythms have a story. They all have a history. It's incredible. And there's a book I'd like to recommend that I've read cover to cover, and it's called Tito Puente, Drumming with the Mambo King. It's got charts and examples and a CD, and it's just the history section alone. I had to take a nap after I read it. I was so exhausted. It's just unbelievable the amount of stuff that's been going on. I so recommend it. I love being a student of real drumming from different countries, and if you're looking to get into this stuff, this is really the best place to start. That's an incredible book. It's so comprehensive. So let's take a look at a cha-cha. It's a great rhythm. And it's really, really easy to understand. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to play it for you right now. You'll hear the driving cowbell, and you'll hear the bass drum part. It just all makes sense. Let's try it. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1 and 2 and 3. It's just a great little groove. It's really simple to play. You know, it's just got that pulsing cha-cha bell quarter note thing happening. And you got the bass drum on the and of 2 and a downbeat of 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You'll find that in traditional Cuban music, sometimes they leave the 4 out, which I will probably do when I play this piece of music. I've kind of gravitated to leaving the 4 out sometimes, and sometimes I play it. You pick and choose your moments to make things happen with some rhythm sometimes. And it's just really, really interpretive. You get into this piece of music, you'll hear it. The track will inspire you. This is a great cha-cha track. Let's give it a shot. Okay, let's take things down a little bit now and talk about a bolero. This is the ballroom rumba with an H, not the one without an H. Our U, MBA, is a different thing. Our H is a little bit more nice, very romantic. Think of dancers, long gowns, amazing tuxedos. This is a romantic, beautiful dance. So let's play this rhythm on here and see what we can have happening. The snare drum part with the snares off is going to be the key. Let's see what it sounds like, just the hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. 3 and 4 and 1. 1. Nice, nice. No big deal. Nice. Don't be. It's like, what the heck happened? Don't do that. Nice and polite, gentle. Now, the feet, just do the classic 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you put it all together, and it sounds something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This next track is absolutely self-explanatory. We're going to take that groove, we're going to put it in this track, and you'll see what I mean. It's a beautiful, romantic sound. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous song. I'm sure you'll have a good time playing it. I know I will. Here we go. Okay, let's get a little bit hotter now, the mambo. This is, boy, I'll tell you, this is killing. When you talk about Afro-Cuban music, this is a killing groove. It's also a section of music in Latin music. They say, go to the mambo, and everybody jumps up a level and energy and goes to this thing. It's really cool. But this is the classic mambo. And again, if you see that book, Drumming with the Mambo King, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. There's a whole section devoted to this, all the different examples. And I'd like to make one other point before we go into this. This is very, very important to understand. This instrument that we are playing right here, this wasn't around when all this stuff was being played, invented, and still being played now. These are multi-percussion parts that we're adapting for the drum set. Very important to understand that. So we're playing what the timbali player would be playing. We're covering some kunga parts, some bongo parts. We're going nuts over here. We're trying to grab everybody's parts. So if you get on a gig with a percussionist, you got to make sure you use your brain and don't step all over like what they do. You got to use your head and subtract accordingly, because we're kind of trying to cover everything right now in the versions that we have going on right here. There's a lot of stuff going on. When you listen to real Cuban music, you're going to hear a ton of percussion played by percussionists, not drum set players. So make sure you understand that difference. Okay, the classic mambo bell pattern. Let's just play the rhythm. Let's not get too fancy with opens and closes right now. Let's just understand this rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Now that's just all played the same volume all together. Now we put the bass drum, the snare, and the hi-hat in, and you have the whole thing that sounds something like this. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Try that slow first. There's a whole lot going on. And you know, when I get into the next example, when I play this with music, opens, some tips, and some opens. Tip, open. All sorts of different colors that you get. You listen to Cuban timbale players play that thing, man. They get like hundreds of sounds out of a cowbell. It's truly inspiring. So let's play this and see where the drum set can fit in with a hot mambo track. We're going to play 2 tempos, hot and not so hot. Try them both, and you'll see how I kind of mutate and kind of, you know, sometimes I don't play that bass drum on beat 4, which just can be a little bit more authentic sometimes. All the sorts of different things can happen. Use your ears, respond, react, have fun, hit it. Okay, I just got finished gabbing about how we are taking percussion parts and putting them on a drum set. We're taking the timbale part, we're taking the conga part, we're taking the bongo part. We don't have any parts of our own. We're taking all these other people's things. Well, there is a rhythm just for us, and it's called the songo, invented in Cuba by a great drummer from the band Los Van Van. This can look a little frantic, it can look a little crazy, look a little intimidating. Relax, it's not so bad. Take it slow. Let's see what the hands look like, because this is really where people get a little bit nuts. Thankfully, the right hand's going to hang on the bell, just playing that quarter note. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, It's not that bad. It can seem a little like, oh my God, I'll never be able to do that. But when you get used to it, you just sit down and start playing it. It just flows. You'll see what I mean. I put my hi-hat on the upbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You can see it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. You play it nice and slow. Whatever speed you need to work it out, do it. Relax. It's a great groove. And it's ours. It's a drum set groove. We all have to play it. There it is. Order's been given. Now, let's see what this sounds like at a couple different tempos. Here we go. .43 is a non-Igoe, Afro-Cuban 6/8. It's kind of polyrhythmic. It's got two things going on at the same time. We've got a 6/8 bell pattern, and we're going to imply a 2 over here in the hi-hat. Don't be intimidated by the words polyrhythmic. You'll see exactly what I mean. Okay, here we go. This is going to be the 6/8 bell pattern. Let's count it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 1, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 1. That's in 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1. You can see how it fits in with the cowbell part. Now, when we put the whole thing together, it kind of, all gels into this nice little thing, and it flows around the drum set very easily. Let's see what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Two. can see as I was counting just then, I was counting the hi-hat part in 4. That's what polymetric or polyrhythmic actually means. You're counting that being the primary instead of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is a little bit more advanced. And if you can verbalize that out loud, it actually helps. It's very tough to do. It's hard to do, even for me right now, just playing these slow. It's using all my CPU power right now just to get all these things and actually try to verbalize them. I try to do this a lot in my own practice time, counting out loud different rhythms and see if you can make them verbally speak as you're playing. It makes the whole groove gel together. You can understand it more. It's more of an advanced technique, but I want to plant it in your mind right now and see if you can count different rhythms around the drum set. Just then I was counting 4 against the 6, so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, we're going to play this at 2 different tempos, like a lot of the tunes we've been playing so far. This sits really great at the slow 6 and an extremely fast 6. We're going to show you 2 different ways right now. I'm going to play them for you, and then you're going to play them too. Here we go. Mozambique, another Afro-Cuban groove, and it is so much fun to play. This groove really kind of got thrust forward in a lot of drummers' minds when a guy named Steve Gadd, who, by the way, if you don't know who Steve Gadd is, immediately find out. He used this groove on a Paul Simon song called Late in the Evening, and he also used it with another artist called Chick Corea, and a lot of drummers really latched onto this groove. It's just undeniably cool. And the classic bass drum part that we've been playing, like in the sango and the bass drum, that's now going to be on the toms. And now the bass drum's just going to play on 2 and 4. And the hi-hat's going to play on all 4 beats. Let's listen to the bell pattern. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. comes together and you play all those parts together, it's just really, really cool. It's awesome. It feels great to play. Like so many of those other grooves, the shuffle and those other ones I was telling you about, that one, when it comes together, is a lot of fun to play. Let's see what a Mozambique sounds like in a couple of musical examples. Here we go. Groove 45 is a salsa. And this is the first time we're going to actually use the holy grail term of all Latin music, and that is the clave. In this rhythm, we're going to be playing a 2-3 clave over here. The clave is the key to the music, keeping all the phrases in line, understanding where to play things. It is so far beyond the scope of this project to get into clave and understanding it, its origins, and what you can do with it. But the books I've already recommended to you, the music that I know you're going to want to listen to after you finish this project, those are going to be the keys to you understanding the key, the clave. Now, the rhythm that we're going to play in the left hand on this one is a 2-3 sewn clave. It sounds like this: 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You hear that over and over, that repetitive clave rhythm? That's going to be our key. Now, in the right hand, we're going to play the traditional cascara. We're going to play on our salsa bell over here, or LP salsa bell. Let's see what it sounds like when we play this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have any doubts about those rhythms, just play them with me nice and slow, just like that. I like to put my hi-hat on the upbeat too, which is kind of cool. As a matter of fact, I'll demonstrate that in the musical example that we're going to play right now. That groove at that tempo doesn't sound too salsa-ish, does it? But you'll see what happens when it gets sped up, put it in its proper place, in with a band that's playing some hot Latin music. Let's check it out. Groove 46 is the tango. When you talk about romantic, passionate dances, the tango has got to be the king. Think about the rose in the mouth, the incredibly beautiful woman. It's an incredible thing. It's a wonderful dance, and we're going to play it right now. It's simple but deceptive. If you have any concert snare drum technique, I'm very glad I studied concert snare drum because it's come to serve me very well in this groove. You have a roll at the end with an accent on the beginning. Not the accent on the end, the accent on the beginning to get that nice, tight, and a 4 sound. Here's the hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 1. Hear that sound? And 1, and 1. It's not blah, blah, bizzat, bizzat. A totally different texture and flavor. Let's see what this sounds like when we play it together. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. This groove is self-explanatory. And when it sits in a track, it's so signature in its sound, you can't help but smile when you hear it. It was a lot of fun making this track. All the musicians had a great time on it. We all loved playing the tango. So let's see what you feel when you get a shot at it. We'll play it for you the first time, and then you can get in on it too. A lot of fun. Here you go, the tango. Our final groove on the poster, a groove from Martinique. It's called the Béguine, and another romantic dance. So many of these grooves are dances. When you talk about the world section, they're social events. So many of these things, you know, the Afro-Cuban stuff. These are social events. They're not just little things we play on the drums. They're meaningful to life, and the Béguine is no exception. It's a very romantic dance. It kind of just sweeps along. I don't know any other way to describe it. It sweeps. It's sweeping, and you see it a lot in Broadway musicals. I've run across it, and I'm including it in a poster because a lot of times you see the word Béguine written in a chart, and it'll have 4 slashes like, good luck, you play a Béguine. But if you don't know what a Béguine is, you're in big trouble. You're not going to know what to do. You might play a polka. That's not going to work on a Béguine. Not very romantic, is it, a polka? Well, at any rate, let's keep the Béguine sweeping, moving forward. And it's very simple. Let's look at the hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. See that little snare drum part? 1, 1 and a 2, 1 and a 2, 1 and a 2, and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. There are other variations to play on the Béguine, but you know what? That one just works all the time, and it's really nice. And it's going to work really well in this track. This is another one that the musicians had a really good time playing on. We don't get a chance to play a Béguine very often. And when you do, it's kind of nice. You know, it's the piano player and the guitar player definitely had a good time playing on this track. And I think you will too. Here we go, the Béguine. 47 grooves. Congratulations, you made it through. Unbelievable. This is an unbelievable amount of material. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of the crew for hanging in. An unbelievable amount of stuff went down in the studio over the last couple days, and I'm even prouder of you for hanging in there with us. The DVD case that you have is never going to grow old. This material will never, ever be out of date. These are core grooves that have been around for a long time, and they will always be around. They're the beat, the heartbeat of so much music. And now you have the beginnings of making it your own. I'm a student. More than an educator or performer, I first am a student. And I love studying this stuff because I love the drums. I absolutely love the drums. I love them. They are my life. And now you're in the family of drummers. And let me tell you something, it is a family. You'll find drum clinics and all sorts of stuff going on, conventions, and really only drummers do it, and you're in the family. You have a drum set, you want to learn, you're in the family. That's how easy it is. It's a great thing, and it's great to be a member of this family. So I'm a student, and I love to study, and I go to try to find the real deal. Now, what I played, I want to not be the final word for you. I want it to be the beginning. Don't stop with what I just did. Go to the Cuban source to find out about Cuban music. Go to New Orleans, go to Jamaica, go to the Caribbean. Find these masters who play this music, all the places we've been, and get inside the real deal. It's an unbelievable thing. You learn so much. There's so much history. There's so much stuff to learn. And as much as I know there's so much more that I need to learn. It's a great thing. It's like you have to be like a sponge. Be like a sponge and just keep taking information, making it your own, trying to become the best that you can be as an artist because it never stops. You can always get better. It's a great thing, man. It's a gift. It's a gift to play the drums. It's a gift to have that need to express yourself musically. There's a whole world of music waiting for you to discover it. All it takes is for you to go out and grab it. Good luck and go get them.